Good day, everybody, and welcome back to another look back on my Zephyr vlogs that I made, or the vlogs that I made while back in South Korea. Um, yeah, this is. When was this one recorded? Or this uploaded? The 26th of October 2015. So that's going to be interesting. I'm pretty damn close to. Yeah, I'm pretty damn close to things. Yeah. But let's just switch over to that thing. I prepare you. Okay, so just to prepare you, I shaved off my mustache because I fell ill. And falling ill with a runny nose and a mustache, not that good. That is basically the only time I shaved my mustache in South Korea. So I'm just warning you, for those of you watching, and let's continue on.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another.
Oh, you can hear my sickly voice.
Zephyr vlog, brought to you through the power of the internet and YouTube, and semi-live from Korea. As you probably can hear, my voice is kind of gone. I've fallen ill over the past weekend, and so ill, in fact, that my normal intake of coffee isn't even that high anymore. It's literally a case of maybe I'm probably on my fourth cup at the moment. Probably will only have 5 cups of coffee today. I've fallen ill. I've been to the doctor. It's crazy, and it's probably gonna get worse before it gets better. But other than that, in other news, okay, so I arrived at school today with this mask on, right?
I still have that mask.
And I've shaven this part off, mainly because of a really disgusting, for a really disgusting reason. And I shaved it off, and I was slightly doped up on pain meds and everything, so this is the result. I actually have a lip up there. So I get to school today, and obviously I have to take the thing off to eat. And most of the kids are like, "Teacher, did it hurt? Hurt? Pain?" I'm like, "What pain?" "Yes, I have headache." They're like, "No, you take off, and then beard disappeared." I'm like, No, I shaved it. And they're like, "Oh, okay."
They thought I ripped off my mustache. I remember this instance. Not clearly, though, but I do remember them. That.
And what's kind of cool is we had I taught them a lesson earlier in the year, the 5th and 6th graders, about backache, headaches, sore throat, and everything. And after lunch, they came up to me and they're like, "Oh, teacher, you headache?" And I'm like, "Yeah, headache." And they're like, "Oh, teacher, runny nose?" I'm like, "Yeah, runny nose. Yes, runny nose." And they're like, "Oh, teacher, throat." And I'm like, "Throat?" They're like, "Sore throat." I'm like, "Yes." So it pays off teaching these kids seemingly random words that you think they'll never use, or that you hope they'll use someday, and it's really rewarding when they come back to you and use it with you in an attempt to strike up a conversation. And one of them is like, "Oh, teacher, no drink hot water, you sweat too much." I'm like, "Okay, I won't drink hot water." And they're like, "Teacher, medicine take?" I'm like, "Yeah, taking medicine and everything." They're like, "Oh, teacher, you get well soon." I'm like, "Oh, man, something stuck." Sometimes it doesn't feel like what you're teaching will stick with these kids, and then they surprise you. It is really amazing. Now, the other problem, or the other thing happening, it's just like a bit of good news to start off with, that the things I teach these kids actually stick. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but they remember it. In other news, I'm writing my exam on Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, in Seoul, which is a huge issue because I don't like going to Seoul, and I'll be writing the.
I like being in Seoul. Well, I like being in Seoul once every 4 or 5 months because it's too busy, too big of a city, and the city is too busy. And what I don't like most of the time is driving there.
Exam and coming back and then chilling out for the rest of the day. Probably sleep for the rest of the day just to get this thing over and done with. So I won't be streaming tomorrow night because tomorrow night I will be in Seoul. For those of you wondering, I won't be streaming, obviously. And I might probably get back to streaming again on Wednesday, depending on how I feel. I've seen the doctor and everything. The meds, how medicine work here is they require at least 3 visits to the doctor. Went to see the doctor today, and he did like a complete ear, throat, nose, ear, nose, and throat checkup for me completely.
Yeah, my first, or one, probably not my first. It was probably like my third or fourth PCR test as we know them nowadays during the COVID years. Meaning, for those of you who don't know, if you're watching this and COVID is gone and nobody remembers, it's when they take a swab, like about yay long, and they stick it up your nose, and it feels like they're scratching your brain. That's a PCR test.
And he's gonna sort that out. So on Thursday I'll be going to him going, oh, please heal me, throw me a potion or something. So yeah, I will be streaming as much as possible tonight, depending on how I feel. I feel reasonable YouTube channel in for something if something like this happens.
Okay, we're just gonna skip most of these things because I'm talking about my Twitch and YouTube channel. So until we hit another one, let's just go normal. Oh, by the way, you see that red band? I still have it. It doesn't have any white on it anymore. But yeah, I still have it.
And this will probably be the or Minecraft. The YouTube channel is going to be quiet for, and I will be doing my Jan Afrika recording on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm just ill. I'm freaking. Oh, and another thing. Now that I look at my white pasty face, so some of the kids, the grade 6 girls, came up to me and she touched my hand. She's like, "Oh, teacher, so white, so pretty." I'm like,
So white, so pretty.
now she is half, I think half Filipino or half Taiwanese. So she's got like a darker complexion on her skin, and her friend, the same with her friend. And I'm like, no, no sun, no sun. That's no, it's difficult. It's wrong. And she's like, no, but teacher, white is very pretty. And she points at her skin. She's like, I'm black. And I'm like, no. You're not black. You're tanned. And then I tell her, and I try to explain to them. Like, I spent 10 minutes today explaining to the class that tanned is a concept in the Western style and in the Western world is a form of beauty. And then I showed them some pictures of like Jersey Shore people, and they're like, no, that's too black. And I'm like, yep, that's wrong. And then I'm like, I showed them a couple of photos of my friends, not in bikinis or anything, just slightly tanned, like, and everything. And they're like, oh, teacher, black friend? I'm like, oh, okay. So that's a concept I need to try and get into their heads, that tanned is also beautiful. Actually, what I need to do is once I feel a bit healthier and whatever, I'm going to develop an entire lesson plan on what can be seen as beauty. Now, no one will walk away with answers. They won't be a definite answer. But at least they can go like, oh, that is also pretty. That is also beautiful. I'm busy working. My mind is racing at 100 miles an hour. But, like I said in my previous Zaffa vlog, my mouth is very slow. And I'm ill, so take that into consideration. So that is basically that. Very good week considering the fact that I've fallen ill and everything, despite the fact that I've fallen ill. Very good week, very busy week ahead of me, but everything seems there's beauty in everything. That's all I'm saying. You
Okay then, yeah, that's that video. Yeah, I believe I continued on with that lesson and I showed them. Um, I showed them. I believe the lesson included like black and white photos, so they couldn't like distinguish the color as much. I know I went out of my way to try and explain to them like white, tanned, black people, people from Africa, you know, African Americans, people from Africa, Mexicans. I tried to show them, I think I did Italians as well in that lesson. I tried to do that. So before you cancel me, that was the end of the lesson. I think when I say lesson, I think that was like a 2 or 3-parter lesson of beauty, where beauty is. It didn't connect with most of them, I could tell by the end of the lessons, but at the end of the big lesson, it didn't connect with them. They still thought that being white is pretty. For them, you know, to put it into context, they're not white, so they're not pretty. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's a bit of the American influence there, I guess, or the media influence there, I guess. But, yeah, that was that video. And we are. Look at my shiny head. That light shines on my head, so I should just shave my head, I think. Anyway, you won't see this. By the time you see this, my hair's probably grown back again. Um, but yeah, that was the lesson, and that was the video. It's quite cool. I think if I look at this quickly, let's just quickly see how far away am I. Yeah, this was that video was the third or fourth time that I've fallen ill. During the 2 years that I was there. So what would happen is like in the beginning of winter, in the middle of the year in summer, I would fall ill. And then right at winter, the start of winter, I'd fall ill. And then at the end of winter, I'd fall ill. It's about 3 times a year that I've fallen ill. Let's see here. That was that one. Where's the next one? Oh, the next one is going to be a bit more about one of my favorite foods in Korea. Again. And yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Hug somebody you love. Tell them you love them. If you've reached this part of the video, show me that you've reached this part of the video by clicking that like and subscribe button. Yeah. 2 small clicks for you, 1 giant leap for Zephyr-kind. I think that's going to be a thing that I'm going to start saying now. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.